You know that feeling on a warm summer night? That moment, right after the sun goes down, everything gets quiet, and then you see it. One tiny little spark, and then another one. And pretty soon, the whole backyard is just filled with this silent, sparkling dance. It's pure magic, right?
Well, today, we're talking about the little creature behind all that magic. You might call them fireflies, or maybe lightning bugs, or even glowworms. We're going to dive into what makes them tick, what makes them glow, and unfortunately, why that beautiful glow is starting to fade away from our summer nights.
All right, so first things first, let's get to know these amazing little creatures. What are they, really? And how in the world do they produce that light? Well, here's a fun fact to start us off. Fireflies aren't flies, and lightning bugs aren't true bugs. Nope, they're actually beetles. They're part of this huge family with over 2,000 different species, and you can find them in temperate and tropical spots all over the planet. Okay, let's get to the main event, the thing that makes a firefly, that incredible glow. How do they do it? It's not magic, it's something even cooler. It's chemistry. The fancy scientific name for this is bioluminescence. All that means is living light. It's basically a chemical reaction that happens inside these special little organs on the firefly's belly, turning them into nature's very own tiny little lanterns. So what's the recipe for this glow? Well, you only need 4 main ingredients. First, you need a compound called luciferin, which just means light bringer. Then you need an enzyme called luciferase to get things going. Add some ATP, that's the energy molecule in all living things, and finally, a little bit of oxygen. You mix all that together, and voila, you get light, but with basically no heat. It's a perfect cold light. And here's what's absolutely mind-blowing. A firefly's light is almost 100% efficient. Almost none of the energy is wasted as heat. Now compare that to an old-school incandescent light bulb, you know, the ones that get super hot. Those are only 10% efficient. 90% of the energy is just lost as heat. Nature really figured it out. So why go through all that trouble? Well, that light is their language. First and foremost, it's for romance. Males fly around flashing a specific code, and the females on the ground flash back if they're interested. It's also a warning sign for predators, basically saying, hey, don't eat me, I taste terrible and I'm toxic. And then there's a dark side. Some species actually mimic the flashes of other fireflies to lure in males and then eat them. It's a tough world out there. But that beautiful, complicated language of light, it's getting harder and harder to hear. That magic we all remember is becoming more and more rare, and we really need to understand why. I mean, think about it. For generations, fireflies have been a totally reliable part of summer. So what's changed? Why are people all over the world noticing that there just aren't as many as there used to be? Well, scientists who study fireflies all agree on the main culprits. There are 3 big threats that are really hurting these insects. We're destroying their homes, we're flooding their world with artificial light, and we're using chemicals that harm them. Habitat loss is, by far, enemy number 1. Fireflies need very specific places to live. They love damp spots like meadows and forests, but as we build more houses and roads, we are paving right over their homes. And here's the kicker, they can't just pack up and move. They're pretty much stuck where they're born. The second biggest problem is light pollution. And honestly, this quote from a research paper just says it all. For an animal that speaks with light, our 24/7 glow is absolutely devastating. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to whisper a secret to your friend in the middle of a loud rock concert. That's what it's like for a firefly. The light from our street lights, our houses, our cars, it's just so much noise that their tiny little flashes get completely drowned out. The males can't see the females' replies. And if they can't find each other, they can't make more fireflies. Simple as that. And look, this really matters. Losing fireflies isn't just about losing a pretty light. It's a huge warning sign about the health of our environment. It's so easy to just write them off as another bug, you know? But they are actually key players in their ecosystems. Their presence or their absence tells us a really important story about the world around us. They have 2 incredibly important jobs. First, they're what we call bioindicators. Because they're so sensitive to pollution, a healthy firefly population is a great sign that the local environment is also healthy. They're like the canary in the coal mine. And second, their babies, the larvae, are a gardener's best friend. They are ferocious little predators that gobble up pests like snails and slugs. Now, I know hearing all of this can feel a little depressing, but there is good news. And the good news is that the solutions can start right in our own communities, even in our own backyards. We can actually help bring the glow back. Here are 5 really simple but really powerful things you can do. 1. Turn off your outdoor lights when you're not using them. 2. Don't use pesticides in your yard. 3. Let some of your grass grow a little wild and leave some leaves on the ground. The larvae love it. 4. Even a little bird bath can provide the moisture they need. And finally, resist that urge to catch them. And I know, catching them in a jar is such a classic summer memory. But here's the thing, an adult firefly only lives for a few short weeks, and its only job is to find a mate. Trapping it in a jar even for just one night can completely mess up its flashing pattern and might mean it misses its one and only chance to reproduce. So if you really love them, the best thing you can do is just watch them fly free. You know, the fading glow of the firefly, it's like a quiet little alarm bell. It's telling us something about the world we're creating. But it's not too late. The choice of what our summer nights look like and what our kids' summer nights will look like, that's really up to us. And it leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? Are we going to be the generation that lets these little lights go out for good? Or are we going to be the one that helps them shine on?